Welcome to the Team Engagement Podcast, where leaders of teams share their insights. We discuss 6 questions in less than 9 minutes because leaders know how to be concise. Let's go ahead and jump right into it. First question, in a few sentences, tell us who you are and what you do.
My name is Ernie Humphrey. I have multiple roles right now. I'm the Vice President of Thought Leadership at Stampli, which is a leading AP automation company, helps bring invoices to life and incorporates AI into accounts payable automation. Also the CEO of Treasury Webinars. We deliver events that drive the professional development for the Office of the CFO, all the way from AP, AR, FP&A, finance, all the way up to the CFO with a specific focus. Obviously, in Treasury, both of those kind of go together. My mission is to make everyone in the Office of the CFO more productive by delivering them thought leadership, and that includes how to leverage technology, build relationships, and be disruptive in the right way.
I love it. Thank you. Question number 2, what's the best thing about working with a team?
I think there's really 2 facets to that. One is leading a team. So leading a team is really nice, is great for me. I like to pass on all the mistakes I've made, which are plenty, teach people how to fall forward, and really teach them how to interact with each other. I like trying to manage the dynamics of my team, understanding what makes them tick. The other side of it is being a team player. Very few people are a good leader and a good player. So being a player is really, I like that a lot. And in both roles, I like to learn. So anytime I can be in a relationship where I'm learning, and if I'm building my team, I want to have diverse skill sets, and I want to facilitate cross-training, which is really important now in the remote reality. People are focusing on cross-training, which is incredibly important.
That's great insights. Great insights. Third question, I hear from other leaders of teams that it can be a challenge to get team members engaged. Tell me your thoughts on that.
I think it really depends on the person, but if you're in finance, I would say 99% that's the case, me being the exception, because I'm a stand-up comic. So I think I do okay with that. I think it's about realizing that you need to make an effort. You need to make an effort to know what makes your team tick, but you have to be authentic. So you might not go right at someone. So you might hang out. John hangs out with Joe. Hey, I talked to Joe. Hey, Joe, why do you tell me about John? Right? And sometimes you can just ask a conversation, ask someone out to lunch. What I often do is I just say to someone, say they're on accounts payable, take them out to lunch and say, John, tell me what's most frustrating in accounts payable. I just don't really know what you guys do. So you have to convey that you're interested in what they're doing, and you want to learn their language if they're in a different department, and educate them on, and then they'll take an interest in you. And so that kind of builds that I call that the trusted relationship. So that's a good way to engage, and then get to know what people do, right? Their hobbies, maybe your kids both run cross country, any little thing that you can latch onto to build that relationship and kind of warm it up. But you have to be authentic. Like if you're really stiff, you don't just all of a sudden start trying to do stand up in front of someone. So you have to be authentic, but you have to really find your own way. The older you get, I think the better it is. The more you don't care, right? You just try. And if someone you just have to learn and be comfortable in your own skin.
Great ideas. Love those ideas, especially about building on commonalities. Love that.
Yeah.
Fourth question, what other piece of information or advice would you give to leaders of teams?
I think I'd just reiterate what I said before. Take the time to invest in knowing your teams, knowing what makes them tick, knowing what are the things ask them, what are the things that inhibit your productivity? Remove all those inherent barriers for them, and let them get to know you, right? I think you have to open up and let people get to know you and feel like that you're invested in them. So I think you really need to be able to open yourself up as well.
Oh, that's great. Thank you. Fifth question, what other successful team leaders, such as yourself, would you recommend be on my podcast?
I'm having a hard time with that one because I have my own podcast, so I don't know if I want you to steal all my guests. So we'll take that offline. But I think what I look for is just folks online. Maybe they're in a space like finance, which is just really uptight, but you see someone that has a personality like me that has stand-up comic, or I look for people that have a lot of followers, or people that just have a different point of view, right? You can see that someone's not posting what else is out there, the buzzwords. Someone will have a different take on something, and maybe they're a leader that engages disruption or something that's kind of out of the box. So just to get leaders on here that have a different perspective, like different ages. So I think those things are important when I would look to engage people to offer just those different perspectives.
Great. Thank you. Final question. Tell us about your first job.
I don't know if anybody wants to hear about that. It only lasted about 2 or 3 weeks. So I was fresh out of going to grad school. My wife moved. She's an engineer, so I followed my wife. So most men don't have the courage to do that, but I did. I was a professional trainer for like 3 weeks, and it was just like joyous. It was like going to the candy store and training them. And then I was interviewing at the same time this company called Franklin Electric, and they were on a break, and they came back from their manufacturing shutdown. The CEO is like, "Where's Ernie?" And the guy's like, "I don't know." He goes, "You better go get him." So I had 3 VPs come up and take me out to breakfast. They cajoled me away from the professional training because my brain wasn't going to be tested as much as it was fun. So I ended up going there, working there, and that's where my career really took off into marketing and where I got into finance. So it was like 3 weeks of joy, but then I had a dose of reality and got into corporate America. So that wasn't fun. I was in a cubicle for 8 years. Imagine that. Oh, yeah, that was interesting.
Especially coming from personal training where you're in the
That's
gym.
right.
So that's great. Ernie, thank you so much for being on the podcast today. How can people find you?
Yeah, I think the easiest way to find me is on LinkedIn. Also, if you want to see what I have going on, you can go to www.treasurywebinars.com. Also have a lot of great resources. It's really related to the remote reality. www.stampli.com. I have a blog on different areas in navigating the remote reality. So those are always open to LinkedIn connections and just having a conversation. I enjoy meeting people, so just feel free to reach out. I would love it.
Fantastic. This is Sean Richards with the Team Engagement Podcast, where leaders of teams share their insights. For more ideas, you can check us out on LinkedIn by searching Blue Sky Business Consulting. Thanks for joining us and have a great day.